Welcome to another episode of Sons of Thunder. Sean, we're talking about the State of the Union tonight, right?
Yes, we are.
And our producer, the man behind the curtain, has given us clips of the State of the Union. You and me have not seen this at all, which is very hard for you.
And Carice also put a lot of work into this, but no, I have no idea. I did not watch the State of the Union address, and I stayed away from even reading the news or anything else about it.
Yeah, I know one thing of it, but I haven't watched it. I know one thing, but we'll see from these clips. There's a bunch of clips, so let's get into the first one.
Good evening. If I were smart, I'd go home now.
Yeah, if he was smart.
Are you kidding me? That's how he opens up.
Yeah, if he was smart, he would go.
And even the vice president, she's like, "Yes, please go home now."
Yeah, Kamala. Okay, let's roll with the next one.
History is watching. If the United States walks away, it will put Ukraine at risk. Europe is at risk. The free world will be at risk, emboldening others to do what they wish to do us harm. My message to President Putin, who I've known for a long time, is simple. We will not walk away.
Oh, well, okay. First of all, who's the guy on the right?
Oh, I wasn't even paying attention. I don't know.
Okay, he's white.
He's white. Is that your commentary?
Okay, well, the vice president, she stood up like, "Yeah, let's clap after you say
What's it have to do with him being white?
I was just telling you know what the it's like
Oh, okay.
it's a placement.
Yeah. Well, it's
Description placement.
you normal Ukraine stuff. Well, we're not going to walk away. Okay, that's very brave and bold and everything. It just means he's going to keep sending taxpayer money over there into what's basically a grinder of a war.
Yeah, and let's stand up
grinder.
and clap about that.
Yeah,
right?
that's wonderful. Next one, please.
In a literal sense, history is watching. History is watching. Just like history watched 3 years ago on January 6th, when insurrectionists stormed this very Capitol and placed a dagger to the throat of American democracy. Many of you were here on that darkest of days. We all saw with our own eyes the insurrectionists were not patriots. They'd come to stop the peaceful transfer of power, to overturn the will of the people. January 6th lies about the 2020 election and the plots to steal the election posed a gravest threat to U.S. democracy since the Civil War. But they failed. America stood.
Why did she keep on standing up? Is she their hype man? Why did she keep on standing up?
I don't know, but I mean.
I can't believe he started. This is how he started it all.
I don't understand half of what he says to begin with. He's mumbling or slurring or something. It's like he's drunk.
Wait.
Secondly, January 6th, a bunch of late middle-aged retirees walking through the Capitol building. Yeah, that was worse than the Civil War.
But he started it off in putting down the other people. That's how he starts up the State of America.
The State of the Union. I know. Let's roll with the next one, Skeeter.
America stood strong and democracy prevailed. We must be honest. The threat to democracy must be defended. My predecessor and some of you here seek to bury the truth about January 6th. I will not do that. This is the moment to speak the truth and to bury the lies. Here's the simple truth. You can't love your country only when you win.
What?
Did you hear what he just said? He just said
You can't love your country only when you win. Yeah.
no. He said that the threat to democracy must be defended. The threat to democracy must be defended. The president just said that.
Okay.
What the bloody
That doesn't
hell?
make any sense.
No, it's
And once again, you can tell she's behind this. Like, oh my goodness, I wrote a very good speech for him. Let's stand up and clap to my speech.
The threat to democracy.
Do you see her? Next time we get this clip on, just look at her. She's just like, she's almost like sitting back there like, I'm going to kill all of you.
Oh, she's just waiting in the wings. Please move on, Skeeter.
History is watching another assault on freedom. Joining us tonight is Latoya Beasley, a social worker from Birmingham, Alabama. 14 months ago, she and her husband welcomed a baby girl thanks to the miracle of IVF. She scheduled treatments to have that second child. but the Alabama Supreme Court shut down IVF treatments across the state, unleashed by a Supreme Court decision overturning Roe v. Wade. She was told her dream would have to wait. What her family had got through should never have happened. Unless Congress acts, it could happen again. So tonight, let's stand up for families like hers. To my friends across the aisle, don't keep this waiting any longer.
Okay.
I can't understand what he's saying.
Okay,
Are you so bad?
Isn't this supposed to be the State of the Union? Our union as 50 states. Isn't that what this is supposed to be?
And
I thought it was supposed to be, hey, this is how we're doing. This is where we're going to go. This is why I brought us to where. This isn't anything about the states.
And he's talking about Roe v. Wade being overturned, and somehow, what, their family had to wait for what? I don't understand what
A baby.
I don't understand what he's talking about.
A baby. A delivery of a baby.
Yeah, but if Roe v. Wade's overturned, why? That has nothing to do with it's an abortion. They're waiting for a baby because they can't have an abortion? That makes no sense whatsoever. I don't understand. I don't get it.
My predecessor came to office determined to see Roe v. Wade overturned. He's the reason it was overturned, and he brags about it. Look at the chaos that has resulted. Joining us tonight is Kate Cox, the wife and mother from Dallas. She's become pregnant again and had a fetus of a fatal condition. Her doctor told Kate that her own life and her ability to have children in the future were at risk if she didn't act. Because Texas law banned her ability to act, Kate and her husband had to leave the state to get what she needed. What her family got through should have never happened as well.
Oh, my goodness. When do we get to the point of the State of the Union?
I don't know what he's talking.
This isn't the State of the Union. This is the state of two people that are in the crowd and their stories.
Yeah, I know, but he's talking about Roe v. Wade, and somehow this woman wouldn't be able to have babies if she didn't have an abortion.
Is this really? Are we really watching the State of the Union, or is this just two clips?
This is what this is a campaign speech. He's trying to win over the Democratic base, which is.
But that's not what the State of the Union is supposed to be.
Yeah, I know, but it's not. He's not the unifier he said that he was going to be. He's the partisan hack, the extreme leftist leader of the cult of progressivism.
I have one question after our next clip for you.
All
okay,
right, let's roll, please.
There are state laws banning the freedom to choose, criminalizing doctors, forcing survivors of rape and incest to leave their states to get the treatment they need. Many of you in this chamber and my predecessor are promising to pass a national ban on reproductive freedom. My God, what freedom else would you take away? Look, it's a decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. The Supreme Court majority wrote the following, and with all due respect, justices, women are not without electoral power. Electoral or political power. You're about to realize just how much you're right about that.
What?
Yeah, the thing is, Biden used to be anti-abortion. He was firmly anti-abortion. The Democratic Party took a turn and became totally pro-abortion.
Well, the woman behind him is writing the speech, right?
No, Kamala. No, they've got a whole team of speechwriters, man. Yeah, he's certainly not. But I don't know how to come down on this, what to say about this, except without getting into the huge abortion debate. But the freedom to kill babies is, I think, one that we can all do, that America can do with.
Okay, my one question before we get to another.
All right.
Who's the white guy behind the desk? Who is this guy staring at us?
He must be.
Who is he?
Maybe he's the leader of the House.
I mean, you usually have the president and the vice president. Okay, so
can't-
then this other person should be someone we know, right?
Okay, well, I don't know. Let's roll.
If you, the American people, send me a Congress that supports the right to choose, I promise you, I'll restore Roe v. Wade as the law of the land again.
Yeah, I think that's the Speaker of the House.
When do we get to the 50 states? When do we get to the State of the Union?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Are we going to get to it?
He's talking about it from their perspective, the extreme left's perspective, according.
But that's not what the president should be doing.
Yeah, generally those things are supposed to be unifying speeches, but this is a political speech, man. He's using it to start his political campaign. All right, let's move.
Remember the fear, record losses. Remember the spikes in crime and the murder rate, raging virus that took more than 1 million American lives of loved ones, millions left behind. A mental health crisis of isolation and loneliness. A president, my predecessor, failed the most basic presidential duty that he owes to American people, the duty to care. I think that's unforgivable. I came to office determined to get us through one of the toughest periods in the nation's history. We have. It doesn't make news, but news in 1,000 cities and towns, the American people are writing the greatest comeback story never told.
The greatest story never told. Oh, it's told daily on how you can't stay awake past 9 o'clock.
Yeah, well, he's saying that Trump didn't care and he was awful about the coronavirus pandemic. The vaccine came out under Trump.
Well,
under Operation Warp Speed.
He's our savior.
It came out under Trump. And I remember the Democrats at the time saying they're not going to take a Trump vaccine.
How dare you talk to that about?
Yeah, now all of a sudden it's not a Trump vaccine because Biden's in office and they demand everyone has to take it whether they want to or not. It's so bogus.
Move on.
Investing in all America, in all Americans, to make sure everyone has a fair shot, and we leave no one behind. The pandemic no longer controls our lives. The vaccines that saved us from COVID are now being used to beat cancer.
What?
Yeah, I never heard
Since
that.
when?
Yeah, you know what? No, I never heard that.
The vaccine kills cancer?
Yeah, he's apparently he's saying it can be used for that, but yeah, that's pretty bizarre. And the coronavirus doesn't control our lives. The government does. They control our lives and tell us we got to get unknown and weird chemicals into us whether we want to or not.
Okay, he will be our savior if the virus kills. If the vaccine kills cancer, he will be. I mean, you heard that right?
Well, it's being used to kill cancer somehow.
What?
Because of my investment in family farms. Because I invested in family farms led by my Secretary of Agriculture who knows more about this than anybody I know, we're better able to stay in the family for those farms and their children and grandchildren won't have to leave home to make a living.
What
They don't.
is he talking about?
They don't have to leave home to make a living.
Who?
Something about
Farmers?
a family farm. I don't know.
What?
Let's just keep rolling.
I say to the American people, when America gets knocked down, we get back up. We keep going. That's America. That's you, the American people. It's because of you America's coming back. It's because of you our future is brighter. It's because of you that tonight we can proudly say the state of our union is strong and getting stronger.
Oh my goodness!
The State of the Union,
I'm
by
having
many,
a hard time listening to this.
it's on the brink of civil war in some ways.
So that's the first time he's talking about the State of the Union. Is that the
it's-
people that took the vaccine who don't have cancer anymore?
Yeah.
They're the ones. They're the State of the Union, right?
What do you want everybody to have cancer or something like that?
I'm sorry. I'm just.
What's wrong with you?
I didn't know this
You're
was
so
there.
mean.
I mean, I want the cancer, medicine too. I mean, my dog had cancer years ago.
Your dog did.
Biden could have saved my dog.
It's unfortunate. All right, go.
And by the way, I understand corporations. I come from a state that has more corporations invested than every one of your states in the state of the United States combined.
What did he just say?
Pennsylvania
What did he
has
just
more
say?
corporations than all the other states combined. What?
What?
And by the way, I understand corporations. I come from a state that has more corporations invested than every one of your states in the state of the United States combined.
Does anybody know what he just said?
No, I have absolutely no idea why he's even talking about this.
And by the way, I understand corporations. I come from a state that has more corporations invested than every one of your states in the state of the United States combined.
That is the most bogus statement that I've ever heard. What the? Please don't say that again. Roll.
I'm going to get in trouble for saying that, but if you want to get an Air Force One and fly to Toronto, Berlin, Moscow, even Moscow, probably. And bring your prescription with you, and I promise you I'll get it for you for 40% the cost you're paying now. Same company, same drug, same place.
What? He's telling you could go to Moscow and it will pay the same for medicine?
Yeah, if you have to travel and you have to go to Moscow, apparently the government's going to
pay
have 30% less on your drug prices or something.
What does it have to do with anything?
Well, it's also false. I wouldn't count on being able to get
you
my
don't talk
drug
that way
prices
about our savior of cancer.
Yeah, well, okay, the cancer drugs in Moscow are going to cost 30% less because of the Democrats. All right.
Well, my predecessor and many in this chamber want to take this prescription drug away by repealing the Affordable Care Act. I'm not going to let that happen.
That's exactly what happen. I ain't gonna let that.
Whenever he leans forward and whispers, he's very serious. I'm not gonna let it happen, Gordon. Keep rolling, Skeeter. We got to get through this, man.
Now, let me speak to the question of fundamental fairness for all Americans. I've been delivering real results in fiscally responsible ways. We've already cut the federal deficit. Over $1 trillion. I signed the bipartisan deal to cut another $1 trillion in the next decade. It's my goal to cut the federal deficit another $3 trillion by making big corporations and very wealthy finally beginning to pay their fair share. Look, I'm a capitalist. If you want to make or can make $1 million or millions of bucks, that's great. Just pay your fair share in taxes.
I mean, hey, I'm the man. I kill cancer. I mean, just do it.
He cut the federal deficit. When did that happen?
When did that happen?
I must have been asleep.
I heard we were like, what, 3 trillion down, 5 trillion
was like
down?
Drunk or something like that when this happened? I didn't get the memo. This is some BS, man. I don't know how he can say this with a straight face, man.
Because he doesn't know what he's saying, Sean. You know that. Everything he says, he doesn't know what he says. He just said he could cure cancer.
Yeah, the progressive Democrats saying he's...
And by the way, the white guy with the glasses, the computer-looking guy, the IT guy in the back, he kind of like smiled off as if he's like...
Speaker of the House or something like that, Gordon. Why does it matter?
Because he's not doing anything. Everybody else is doing something on this, clapping and standing.
He's a Republican.
He's just yep.
All right. Please, Skeeter.
That would raise $500 billion over the next 10 years. And imagine what that could do for America. Imagine a future with affordable child care. Millions of families can get they need to go to work to help grow the economy. Imagine a future with paid leave, because no one should have to choose between working and taking care of their sick family member. Imagine the future of home care and elder care, and people living with disabilities so they can stay in their homes and family caregivers can finally get the pay they deserve.
Wait, family caregivers?
Yeah, no,
can stay home and get paid?
And you know what? Those are not bad ideas. Those are good things, and I'm all for it. I hope that happens. But I've been hearing that promise for years and years on both sides of the aisle. Oh yeah, we're gonna pay people to give them some money to help them pay for home care for sick people or for disabled people, family members. But I don't see it happening. But this is not a bad thing.
In fact, the snack companies think you won't notice if they change the size of the bag and put a hell of a lot fewer, same size bag, put fewer chips in it. No, I'm not joking. It's called shrinkflation.
Shrinkflation? That sounds like a medical problem.
Sounds like something that happens when it's cold outside or you took a cold shower. Man.
Shrinkflation?
Yeah, shrinkflation. You know what shrinkflation is? That's inflation.
So when I get my favorite chips of Fritos and there's, less fat Fritos in there, that's called shrinkflation?
Something like it. It's just inflation.
I never knew.
These companies don't want to jack the prices up on their stuff, so what they do is they put less in there.
I mean, he is our hero. He killed cancer, and he tells us about shrinkflation.
Yeah, well, you know what? They put less chips in the bag, and then they leave the calories at the same, which ain't fair.
Well, you see, and they're doing good for us, right?
Yeah, all right.
In November, my team began serious negotiation with a bipartisan group of senators. The result was a bipartisan bill with the toughest set of border security reforms we've ever seen. Oh, you don't think so? Oh, you don't like that bill, huh?
This is so idiotic.
I did something. You don't like it?
It's Trump's fault that the border has been overrun. Up until 5 minutes ago, the Democrats said that there was no border crisis.
You didn't like that, Sean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, guess what? I'm here to say.
The Democrats have two positions about the border. One is there is no border crisis. Their second position is the border crisis was caused by Trump. Both those things can't be true at the same time. They got to make up their mind. They got to pick one or the other. Both of them are BS, but I mean, at least pick one side there. Pick one position.
I'm told my predecessor called members of Congress and the Senate to demand they block the bill. He feels political win. He viewed it as a political win for me and a political loser for him. It's not about him. It's not about me. I'd be a winner. Not really. Lincoln Riley, an innocent young woman who was killed by an illegal. That's right. But how many of the thousands of people being killed by illegals? To her parents, I say, my heart goes out to you, having lost children myself. I understand.
Wait a minute. What? He don't even remember when his son died.
No, he doesn't. And he's got to bring up his dead family members.
I love how he says it ain't about him. It ain't about me. But he's really bad.
If it weren't for her policies, that woman would be alive today. This illegal alien, which he called them illegal, and he admitted that thousands of people died, even though the rest of the Democrats don't. He got caught off script, and as he speaks off script, he's going to mess up. He does every time, and he did this time. He just admitted that thousands of people have died because of his policies, his open borders. All right.
59 years later, there are forces taking us back in time. Voter suppression, election subversion, unlimited dark money, extreme gerrymandering. John Lewis was a great friend to many of us here. But if you truly want to honor him and all the heroes who marched with him, then it's time to do more than talk.
Yeah, so why don't you do more than talk? Why don't you do more than talk, actually? And point the finger and says, he's bad, I cure cancer. Why don't you do more than that?
Why don't you do more than talk? Yeah, okay. That's virtue signaling and talk is all that these people have. They got nothing else to say and they got nothing else to offer.
We're also making history by confronting the climate crisis, not denying it. I don't think any of you think there's no longer a climate crisis. At least I hope you don't.
Yeah.
At least I hope you don't.
Yeah, I hope the temperature of the earth does go up a few degrees. That means the crops will grow longer.
What's left in his brain will probably melt away, quite frankly.
What the hell are you saying, Corey?
State the obvious. All Americans deserve the freedom to be safe. And America is safer today than when I took office. Year before I took office, murder rates went up 30%. 30% they went up. The biggest increase in history. It was then, through my American Rescue Plan, which every American voted against, I might add, we made the largest investment in public safety ever.
Every American voted for it. I know I didn't, and I
Yeah.
guess I'm not American.
And the crime has just gone down to just about nothing. since
Every
he's been in
single
office.
American, and that guy up in the stands, he's actually my hero. Like, I don't even know what he said.
I heard something
but
about
I
this.
love it.
This guy is a Gold Star dad. That means somebody died while in the service of the United States. I believe in the withdrawal from Afghanistan. I've heard about this story before.
Really?
Yeah, and I don't think he's very happy.
Well, I wouldn't be either.
After another shooting in Iowa recently, he said, when asked what to do about it, he said, just get over it. There's his quote, just get over it. I say, stop it. Stop it, stop it, stop it.
All right. The one thing that I've learned so far in the State of the Union is that Kamala is the equivalent of everybody clap sign at a talk show host.
She's like a seal, clapping her fins. I wonder if she can bounce a ball on her nose.
I'm sure.
I'm demanding a ban on assault weapons and high-capacity magazines. Pass universal background checks.
Wait, high capacity magazines? Why does he want it back? What?
Yeah, they want to limit the number of the amount of ammo that can fit in one magazine.
Oh yeah.
For a
I don't know why, but I thought it was paper magazines, like Vogue.
Yeah, I don't know why you thought that either.
Yeah.
Israel has the right to go after Hamas. Hamas ended this conflict by releasing hostages, laying down arms, could end it by releasing the hostages, laying down arms, and surrendering those responsible for October 7th. But Israel has Israel has a added burden because Hamas hides and operates among the civilian population like cowards, under hospitals, daycare centers, and all the like. Israel also has a fundamental responsibility, though, to protect innocent civilians in Gaza.
Wait a minute. Now, I thought his followers were against Israel and they were for Hamas. We even did a video on that.
Yeah, a lot of the left and the progressives are fully on the side of Hamas, and they're anti-Semitic. They hate the Jews. Despite the senility of the speech or speech patterns there, he's basically right, though. Hamas hides in and amongst civilians,
Yeah.
and then they cry, they cry about genocide when the civilians get hurt.
Yeah, this is one of the things I actually agree with this guy in for the first time, where he said, yeah, Israel should defend themselves, right?
Yeah, he's right.
I've been working nonstop to establish an immediate ceasefire that would last for 6 weeks to get all the prisoners released, all the hostages released, to get the hostages home and ease the intolerable and humanitarian crisis, and build toward an enduring, something more enduring. The United States has been leading international efforts to get more humanitarian assistance to Gaza. Tonight, I'm directing the U.S. military to lead an emergency mission to establish a temporary pier in the Mediterranean on the coast of Gaza that can receive large shipments carrying food, water, medicine, and temporary shelters. No U.S. boots will be on the ground.
Okay, that's good. We're helping Israel, but why wouldn't U.S. boots be on the ground?
I think that what he's saying there is that they're going to have some kind of port so that Gaza can receive humanitarian aid and whatnot, which is a good.
It's a good thing. That's a good thing.
That it just a ceasefire here. I don't know how it's going to happen. I don't see how it can work.
As we look to the future, the only real solution to the situation is a two-state solution over time.
What's a two-state solution?
That means that both Palestine and Israel would exist. The Palestinians don't want a two-state solution,
No,
man.
yeah.
They want the Jews gone. They want them wiped out. They want them dead. It's a joke to even talk about it anymore, because that's what they want. They'll never agree to it.
Yeah.
I've made sure that the most advanced American technologies can't be used in China, not allowing to trade them there. Frankly, for all this tough talk on China, it never occurred to my predecessor to do any of that. I want competition with China, not conflict. And we're in a stronger position to win the conflict of the 21st century against China than anyone else, for that matter, than any time as well.
Your predecessor isn't senile, and China was afraid of him and isn't afraid of you.
Yeah, well, Biden says all this while another Chinese spy balloon flies on by over his head.
Talking about his predecessor.
Yeah,
I hate this.
Yeah,
In my career, I've been told I was too young. By the way, they didn't let me on the Senate elevators for votes sometimes. Not a joke. And I've been told I'm too old. Whether young or old, I've always known what endures. I've known our North Star. The very idea of America is that we're all created equal and deserves to be treated equally throughout our lives. We've never fully lived up to that idea, but we've never walked away from it either. And I won't walk away from it now. I'm optimistic. I really am. I'm optimistic, Nancy. My fellow Americans, the issue facing our nation isn't how old we are, it's how old are our ideas. Hate, anger, revenge, retribution are the oldest of ideas. But you can't lead America with ancient ideas that only take us back. You lead America, the land of possibilities. You need a vision for the future and what can and should be done. Tonight you've heard mine. I see a future where defending democracy, you don't diminish it. I see a future where we restore the right to choose and protect our freedoms, not take them away. I see a future where the middle class finally has a fair shot and the wealthy have to pay their fair share in taxes. I see a future where we save the planet from the climate crisis and our country from gun violence. Above all, I see a future for all Americans. I see a country for all Americans. And I will always be president for all Americans because I believe in America. I believe in you, the American people. You're the reason we've never been more optimistic about our future than I am now. So let's build the future together. Let's remember who we are. We are the United States of America. And there is nothing beyond our capacity when we act together. God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh my goodness.
well, okay, there's some flag waving there, which is good. Everybody likes that. But mostly a bunch of liberal Democrat platitudes and all that sort of thing.
Well, the one thing that he said that kind of stuck is he's like, it's not about how old you are, it's about your new ideas and stuff. And then he talks about how you can't deal with old ideas to move forward. And I'm a new thinker, but he's the old guy.
Yeah, I know.
It doesn't make sense.
This speech is going to seem like a success to him and his supporters simply because he didn't have no huge senior moments and didn't totally lose his cookies up there or fall off the stage. Because he didn't do any of those things, they'll call this a success. But
Right, but I will agree with you on this. This is his push for another 4 years of this political campaign. It's not the State of the Union.
No, it's a political speech. That's all it is, man.
This is ridiculous. This was a shame.
Yeah. Wow.
All right. Well, this was a reaction video for the State of the Union. We're Sons of Thunder. I hope you enjoyed this. Please comment, like, subscribe, YouTube, Rumble. If you find us anywhere, please check it out and send it to other people because this is a big thing.
Yeah. Appreciate you all watching.
All right. Bye.